Boy, talk about procrastinations of all procrastinations. I've had some special photographs that I had sent to me maybe 5 or 6 years ago that I just got framed this week. And I want to talk about why these photographs are special to me in a moment, but a couple of things. Number one, stay tuned till the end of the episode so that you can share your special photographs and moments. And then I'm hoping in a future episode we can showcase some of your work. So check that out. So let me start with these photographs, these special photographs. These photographs are by Martin Bailey. Martin Bailey, if you don't know, is a fantastic wildlife and nature photographer, travel photographer from Japan. And he has a podcast that I used to listen to when I would commute into New York, have my headphones on. This was like before podcasts were even big. The only other podcast I listened to was Ricky Gervais. And it was great because he gave so many tips and tricks on the podcast. And it was during a time where I was absorbing everything and trying anything. Trying to photograph droplets of water, trying to photograph city scenes. And it was during this whole time of listening to Martin Bailey that I got involved in a photography community, Martin Bailey's photography community. And he would have themes, like one theme was hands, which I entered. And he had other themes, like one of the ones that I won, which was, oh my God, the most amazing feeling in the world. I remember telling my wife, I won a photo contest. Was one called Joy, in which I took a photograph of my friend's kid just jumping. And it was when I was discovering Flash. So that whole time in my photographic life was super special. And it's funny, I wanted to give back to Martin Bailey, and you should give back to artists, by the way. If you know you have like a special YouTuber that you like that's a photographer and they're selling maybe a book or they sell prints, buy one. Buy two. And try to show your support. Likes are good, subscribes are good, but sometimes cash is good for the artist. So I decided to purchase a print because to me, Martin Bailey was one of the people that influenced my photography and really taught me a lot in the beginning. So I have two prints. One of them is a print from Antarctica. And by the way, this is when he used to print them. I don't know if he does this anymore, but he used to print these personally in his home office, print them, and he would put a little, archival stamp, red stamp, and sign each one. And that in itself is super special to me that he signed the print. This one from Antarctica has got two little penguins here. I believe he said this is a 1 or 2 minute exposure, and there's little penguins there that didn't move, so I love that shot. And this one is special to me because one of the first episodes I remember listening to was about the snow monkeys and Hokkaido and all this northern Japan wildlife photography. But this one's great because there's like a little baby hiding in the middle of this photograph. So you'd think there's 4 monkeys, but there's actually a 5th monkey. Anyway, these just came back from the framer, and I thought I would make this episode because I want to talk about special photographs that are special to me. And also, one of our watchers, subscribers, sent me an email that I want to share with you guys, which is a great story. All right, think about a photograph you've taken that's really special. Is it of a person or a moment in your life? Why is there so much meaning to this photograph? And, photography can be a very personal thing. I'm going to share this personal photograph, which means a lot to me. It's of my uncle, and my uncle in Puerto Rico has passed on from cancer. And, he fought cancer for a long time, so we would go back and visit him. And each time I would see him every year, it was like so great to see him because he was around for another year. But every time I photographed him, I was always wondering, is this the last time I'm going to photograph? Now, one of the last times I saw him, he was working on a little tractor in the garage. And I had my camera with me, and I took a few shots of him working on the tractor. But then one of my favorite photographs was this one of just his hands. Because he was an architect, he built houses. We met so many people in Puerto Rico that had lived in houses that he designed and built. And he was always fixing and working on things. And his hands had like years of work in them. And I just love that I was able to capture this little shot here of his hands. And to me, this is a special photograph because not only does it remind me of him, but it sort of like honors everything that he built, all those houses and all those things he fixed, and even their own house that they built. He built it with his own hands. So this photograph means tons to me. So again, wait till the end of this episode so you can share your photograph that means something to you like this, and maybe you can tell us a story about it. And speaking of stories, I'm going to end this episode with an email I got from a subscriber that was really cool. It's a very cool story about a special photograph. And he actually shared the photograph with me. Now, while digging through some old photographs, he found a photograph of an old trumpeter, but he didn't have the negative. So what he did was he sent it to a friend, and the friend just scanned it and sent him a digital file, and he actually printed an 11 by 14 of the image, which he said is hanging in his den. And then he sort of started to think about who this person was and actually tried to track down the person. So as a thank you to me, he sent me the photograph, which is super great. His email reads, "Hi Omar, if you will recall, over 2 months ago, I sent you a black and white photo I shot of a brass band trumpeter in New Orleans French Quarter back in winter 1978. I now have confirmed that he is Greg Stafford, a noted jazz musician in New Orleans. I wrote him a lengthy email this past Wednesday, and literally 5 minutes later my phone rang, and it was Greg Stafford calling to tell me that yes, it was him in the picture, and that he remembered the event very well. He said it was not a jazz funeral. Frank thought it was a jazz funeral earlier, but a street parade for the Denver Bronco fans, known as the Orange Crush, prior to the 1978 Super Bowl in New Orleans. Denver lost to Dallas in that Super Bowl. He said the styrofoam balls on his hat were oranges in honor of the Denver faithful who were marching in the parade with his brass band. I told Greg Stafford that I wanted to present him with a framed 11 by 14 print of the shot that I took of him 43 years ago, and he said he'd love to have it. So I'm traveling to New Orleans from Lafayette, where I live, probably at the end of the week, to meet him over lunch and give him this print of him as a young man. I'm so looking forward to doing this. It's incredible. So Frank took a picture of someone, and I took a picture of so many young musicians in New Orleans with my Fujifilm camera. And now I'm thinking, how many of them in 43 years can I track down? I couldn't even imagine. So it's great that Frank had a photograph that was special to him and was able to find the person in the photograph. This photograph is not only going to have meaning for him, but it's going to have meaning for someone else, someone who he tracked down that didn't even know their picture was taken. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. So if you guys have a story like that at all, or if you have special photographs, I want you to share them with me. So look at the description below. I'm going to leave a link where you can share one photograph and tell a little quick story about the photograph. And if I will have it open for a while, if you click and it's not open anymore, it means I've gotten too many. And I will pick maybe my favorite so many-ish. And we could do an episode just like this about photographs that mean something. And that's what's great about photography. I mean, we fill up hard drive after hard drive after hard drive of photographs, but yet sometimes you just need one photograph printed and hung to actually mean something to you. It could be a print from an artist that you love that means something to you, or it could be a photograph that you've taken. And it just blows my mind sometimes that we can, just capture history and freeze a moment and make someone's day over lunch. It's incredible. Anyway, check out Martin Bailey's website. He has a podcast. He also has an app as well called The Photographer's Friend, which has a depth of field calculator and all kinds of cool tools on it. And I'll see you guys next time.